So, just some backstory. This pastor of this church that I go to, and I go to like 5 churches, so that gives away nothing about who this is. We kind of have some history of not seeing eye to eye on things and like some misunderstandings, and basically, I'll be honest, I did something that probably wasn't the best, and anyways, we talked about it, and for the most part, like, saw eye to eye on things afterwards. But anyways, ever since then, this has been months, like months and months and months ago, like almost a year. But anyways, I still feel super like insecure every time I see him. I always feel super small. I feel like, and I'm projecting my own feelings onto him. He's never said or done anything to me, but I always feel like he doesn't like me, or that he's thinking negative thoughts about me. And basically I try to avoid him. Like, you know how like you see someone coming and you're like walking down the hallway and you like quickly like duck into another room? Yeah. Maybe that's just my introvert tendencies. I don't know. Point is, yeah, I always feel that way. Whether it be warranted or not, that's neither here nor there. I don't know where it is. It's not here or there, but, anyway, so I ran into him yesterday, and I just had that familiar feeling of like, I don't want to be around him. I just want to like quickly get in my car and leave. Don't want him to look at me like, oh my gosh, don't talk to me, because I don't want him to like look at me and be like, think these thoughts about how he doesn't like me, or how he thinks I'm a bad person, or I'm a bad example of a Christian, or I don't know. I'm just making up things that he's probably not even thinking, but it's just in my mind, I overthink things and like make things worse. Anyway, so I started feeling insecure, about it. And then I had this thought, I feel like God just, like, went like that to my head. It was like, Grace. And I was like, yes, Jesus. And he was like, why are you feeling insecure, and uncomfortable around him? I was like, well, because obviously the things that happened in the past, and, like, well, he never looks happy to see me. It's not like he smiles and, like, gives me a big hug or says, hey, I'm so happy to see you. I mean, he's just neutral. But anyways, I interpret neutral as bad. Anyways, I felt God asking me, he's like, why do you need this man's affirmation? Or like, why do you need him to like you? Or, why do you need his approval? And I was like, I don't. And God was like, no, you don't need it, because you have mine. And I was like, and God was like, Grace, you don't need any man's, and I don't mean like specifically men, but like humans. You don't need any humans' affirmation. You don't need to be accepted or approved of or thought well of by anyone. And you're not going to. There's going to be people that aren't going to like you for no fault of your own. There's going to be people that don't support you, don't appreciate you, don't validate you, don't affirm you, and you're not doing anything wrong. He's like, look at the life of my son, Jesus. Jesus did everything right. He was the perfect representation of love. He represented the heart of the Father. He was always kind, always selfless, and people hated him. People put him to death, right? So it's like, why do you expect anything less of you? And I was like, well, I don't know. I just think that if, I'm a good person, everyone's going to like me. He's like, no, that's not how it's going to be. Some people just don't like people, and that's not a reflection of you. Like, literally this entire conversation is happening in my head, and I'm trying my best to, like, say it in a way that, like, does it justice, but, Anyway, so it's like, Grace, you don't need any person's affirmation or approval to be approved of. You have mine, and I'm speaking as God. It's like, you have my affirmation, you have my approval. And then, like, I just felt like this burden lift off me. I was like, you know what, you're right. Like, I can't live my life, like, constantly seeking validation or seeking approval from people, or constantly trying to, like, make sure, like, that I'm understood. Like, well, if they just understood me, then they would like me. I'm just feeling misunderstood right now. Like, if Jesus didn't live that way, like, we don't see Jesus, like, pouting in the corner being like, the Pharisees, they just don't understand. The Pharisees, they're accusing me, and it's just not fair, and I'm just really depressed, and I feel really insecure right now because the Pharisees said that I'm, a spawn of the devil, and that I'm casting out demons in the name of Satan. And, like, Jesus didn't do that. Like, Jesus was self-confident. He just knew that he was loved by the Father. Remember when Jesus was baptized, the heavens opened and the Father said, "This is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased." And Christ carried that confidence and he carried that affirmation with him wherever he went. He knew who he was. He was confident. Nothing anyone could say to him made him doubt who he was. I mean, even when he was tempted in the wilderness, Satan, like every temptation that Satan threw at Jesus, it was like, turn these stones into bread. That wasn't the temptation. The second part was the temptation. It's like, if you truly are the Son of God. And the next thing was, throw yourself down from here, the angels will catch you, like, if you are the Son of God. The temptation wasn't that the thing was, it was to doubt who he was, right? The temptation was for Jesus to doubt that he was the Son of God, that he was who he says he was. And so, like, the same thing happens in our lives. Like, we're tempted, like, all these situations happen, like, people will, not like you, or they'll reject you, or people will treat you badly, or you won't get that job interview, or you won't get the whatever. Like, things are not going to go well in your favor, and it makes you question, like, am I worth it? Am I valuable? Am I, likable? Am I lovable? And, like, it's the same thing, like, questioning your identity, questioning your worth, questioning your value in Christ, and who God says that you are. And God says that I'm his beloved daughter, that he loves me, that he sees me as pure, blameless, innocent, and holy, that he does not see me as a sinner. He has made me a new creation. And that is all the affirmation that I ever need. I don't need anybody else's approval. I don't need anybody else's affirmation. And, that can be taken to an unhealthy level. People are like, well, I don't care what you say. And then you're just like, I'm going to do me, you do you, boo-boo. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm not advocating that type of mentality at all. Obviously, you want to be kind and, like, gentle and, like, loving to everyone, and not be like, well, I don't care about you, I don't need you to like me. Like, that's not the right attitude. Like, the right attitude is to be so full of affirmation already from God that you don't need anyone else to affirm you. You don't need, like, it's fine to receive affirmation. Like, I like it, when people say that I've done a good job, or they appreciate the things I've done. Like, that's all great, but needing it is something completely different. Like, having good things is fine, but needing it to be okay is completely different. Like, never again do I ever want to need the affirmation or approval of anybody else, because I already have the affirmation from God as his daughter. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. I hope it helps somebody. I know lots of people struggle with overthinking. That's me. I struggle with that. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say, and I don't know how to close this, so I'm just gonna say the end. Okay, bye.